In the letter, you criticize the current child pornography sentencing guidelines, saying that they result in overly severe guideline ranges in nearly all cases. Is that still your view?
That was the defender view at the time. If I'm
But you signed the letter, right?
I did in 2013.
Okay. Right.
And
that's my question. So you've changed. Sounds like you've changed your mind.
I don't have an opinion on that right now, Senator. I would want to look at the data and get up to speed on where things are right now.
You had an opinion in 2013, so you're saying that now you don't have one?
I'm saying that I would want to offer you an informed opinion, and things change over time. That was a long time ago, and I would certainly want to look at
Indeed, they do. You said a number of frankly alarming things in that letter, including saying that you reject the view of some commissioners that a mandatory minimum penalty is ever needed, ever, or appropriate in child pornography cases, ever. So you said you weren't familiar with the facts. Let me just rehearse a few of the facts for you. According to the New York Times, in 2018, there were 45 million online photos and videos of children being sexually abused. That was more than double the number from the previous year. Then the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children reported that in 2021, that number had risen to 85 million. So from 45 in 2018 to 85 million photos, videos of children being exploited online, a huge increase in just the space of those very few years. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds to me like an epidemic. So in light of that, do you still think that parents' concerns with this exploitation of children involves exaggerated fears based on lurid stereotypes and a widespread misunderstanding of the nature of these offenders? That's from your letter.
Thank you, Senator. As a parent, I'm concerned about these images. If I'm lucky enough to be confirmed as a commissioner, I would want to carefully examine all of these issues. The offenses, our statutory obligation as commissioners is to consider all the purposes of sentencing, to gather data, research, and information, and make informed recommendations. And I would want to collaborate with commissioners in making those recommendations.
Well, I'm trying to get a sense of what your policy preferences are. This is a policy-making role. It's a policy-forming role. You had previously said that you thought no mandatory minimums were necessary or appropriate in this context. In light of this data, is that still your position, that you think that no mandatory minimum sentences for these crimes of exploitation against children is appropriate?
If I'm fortunate enough to be confirmed,
I think that's probably a yes or no answer.
What I wanted to say, Senator, is that if I'm confirmed, my obligation as a commissioner is to pass guidelines.
I understand what your role is. I'm looking for a yes or no answer. You're not being confirmed to the bench. I'm not asking you to comment on cases that may come before you. You're being confirmed to a policy-making position, and this is deadly serious policy. So I'd like to know, you've taken a position on this. I want to know if you've changed it. Have you changed your position, yes or no?
I don't have a position on mandatory minimums.
You did have a position in 2013. You signed a letter. I've read it to you now multiple times. Senator Blackburn read it to you. I'm looking for a yes or a no. Have you changed your position, or do you still believe that there shouldn't be mandatory minimums for these kinds of crimes against children?
I believe that there are mandatory minimums.
Should there be mandatory minimums? I know what the facts are. I'm asking you what your view is, and you're not answering me.